shame them when the innocent are taken to the pavement. Won't somebody just tell them? Won't somebody?
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the first ever TennesseeRacer.com Dirt Racing Weekly Podcast. I'm Richard Allen of TennesseeRacer.com, and I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time to listen in and see what's going on here. This is something that I hope will become a regular part of the website here in the spring and the summer and fall as the dirt racing season around East Tennessee gets going. But for now, this is just kind of a trial run. It's a cold, snowy December the 29th, and we do have some dirt racing news going on right now, so I thought I'd use this as a chance to kind of work out the kinks and see if we can't get this thing up and rolling before the spring and summer and fall get here, so that we can have everything good to go by that time. So thanks again for taking the time to listen, and thanks for visiting TennesseeRacer.com. This past year has been the biggest year the website's ever had, and I'm certainly appreciative of that, and we plan in the coming year to continue with the stories, with the race write-ups, with the updates from the races as they're going on. And I know a lot of you have commented that you like those, so I'm certainly appreciative that you take the time to look at them. Certainly plan to continue with interviews of our local drivers and track owners and promoters and folks like that who make dirt racing possible for us fans. So just continue to look back at the site frequently and check up on what all's going on. But for now, with today's podcast, I was just going to talk about some racing events we've got coming up here in the next few days and weeks. Starting off on New Year's Day, January the 1st, certainly weather permitting, Mitch McCarter and his crew at the 411 Motor Speedway in Seymour have their third annual hangover event coming up. So that certainly gives us something to look forward to. I know a lot of us have kind of been stuck in the house. We've had not the best of weather here in the East Tennessee region over the last few days. And quite frankly, watching some of those bowl games that have been on, not exactly making for the best entertainment going around. So if we can get out of the house and get to see a good dirt race at 411, that'll certainly make up for what we've been lacking here in the last little bit. I know I've been looking forward to that, and I certainly hope the weather will break and give us the opportunity to see that. And I'm certainly appreciative of Mitch and his guys there at the track being willing to put that race on as they do. But on that race, and check in TennesseeRacer.com. There's an interview posted there with Mitch McCarter where you can not only read the write-up of it, but you can also listen to the interviews. I have the podcast up on via YouTube so that you can hear that and you don't have to do a download for it. But they're going to have limited late models racing for $1,500, which is bigger than the normal purse, so that ought to draw out a few good competitors. And they'll also have 4 other classes there, which you can see in the write-up as to which classes those will be. So that's something for us to have an opportunity to get in on here in this time when we don't usually have a lot of racing going on. And then also in next weekend, first full weekend in January, down at the Talladega Short Track in Alabama, they're going to have their traditional Ice Bowl event down there. They'll have late models of all kinds. They have supers and limiteds and crates, and they have other divisions racing down there too. There's a ton of racing going on at that event. So if you're down that way, or if you'd like to go down that way, I'm sure they'd love to have you come on down. Hopefully, again, the weather will provide the opportunity to see that. Also in January here in the East Tennessee region, the Boyd Speedway will have their annual Cabin Fever event sometime toward the end of the month. I don't think they've announced the official date yet, but it's always on a Saturday, typically toward the end of January. So check their website or check TennesseeRacer.com. That'll be posted just as soon as they make that official. And that race, it's a super late model race, and they've always had some good fields to turn out. They've had some really good drivers to show up down there in the past. I know Ray Cook's been there. Randy Weaver's been there, who I believe won it last year. Mike Marlar there, and there's just no telling who else might show up. Billy Ogle could certainly be a possibility, along with Tommy Kerr. We could see Vic Hill, or just who knows who might show up for that race. So keep your eyes open and your ears open for that one as well. Now, out in February, kind of mid-February, 411's planning to have another special event. They're going to have some limited late models racing there again. And also, they're going to have a class that doesn't normally compete at 411. So that'll be interesting to see what that'll be. In the interview that I have up on the website, Mitch alluded to that, but he didn't really go into any detail on what class that might be. So that'll be interesting to see as well. Also on the website, you can find an interview with Scott Bloomquist that I did just a few weeks ago, where he talked about his 2012 season and what he got out of that, the highs and lows of 2012 as far as he was concerned. And coming in the very near future, sometime after the first of the year, I'll post the part 2 of that interview, where Scott looks forward to 2013 on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, as well as the other big events that he plans on running in. And he's got a little bit of a special announcement there. We're going to see Scott Bloomquist in a NASCAR race car coming up in 2013. I know a lot of people are excited about that. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series is going to race at the Eldora Speedway, and Scott plans to be a part of that. He's had several offers as to which one of those he's going to take. I don't think he's quite yet decided, but it'll be great to not only see the trucks at Eldora, but to see Scott Bloomquist as a part of NASCAR. And I personally really hope he wins that race, because that could be a victory lane interview for the ages if Scott was able to pull that off ahead of all those other NASCAR folks there. So that's something for us to look forward to. So look for that interview coming up pretty soon to be posted on the website. I also have one with Warrior Race Cars boss Sanford Goddard. Did an interview with him at their open house back on December the 15th, and he gave some insight as to how Warrior Race Cars are doing on a local, regional, and national level, and he's excited about what's going on with Warrior, and so I'll write that up and also post the interview so you can listen to that as well. And always just plan on there being plenty of information from the East Tennessee area. We always in the off season find time to catch up with Jimmy Owens, and hopefully going to catch up with Mike Marlar sometime as well, our national drivers, and all the great regional and local competitors we've got around here as well. And along that vein, we're going to finish today's podcast with an interview that I conducted with Josh Collins at that Warrior Race Shop open house. And Josh has got some exciting things going on in 2013. He's a 3-time limited late model track champion at 411, but he's looking to kind of branch away from chasing the weekly points at any local track, and he's looking to move up to the super late models. So it'll be great to see how he does along with the Tyler Jenkins racing team in their Warrior with the Vic Hill Power, to see how that goes for them in the coming year. So without further ado, please take the time to listen with with Josh Collins, and then I appreciate you taking the time to listen. I'm Richard Allen of TennesseeRacer.com, and please just continue to visit the website and look back for more of these podcasts to come in the future. Thank you very much. We're here at the Warrior Race Cars open house with Josh Collins, and Josh, over the last 2 or 3 years, you've been one of the most successful drivers around East Tennessee. Just talk about your progression for these last 3 years or so. I believe you've been the track champion at 411 all 3 years, and just kind of how those years have played out for you, and the progression that you've made as a driver.
Yeah, we've been real fortunate and lucky the past 3 years to run as good as we have, especially the past 2. And since I got in these Warrior cars, been a lot more consistent and better everywhere else too, not just at 411. This past year, I think we won 15 or 16 races total between 411 and Smoky Mountain and a few other places. But that's what we're going to keep doing, is just keep working towards that, and we've got some other stuff planned for next year, and kind of exciting. We'll see what happens.
That's kind of what I was going to lead into next, is some more branching out, maybe a little bit more regional driving, and maybe even moving to the Super Late models.
Yeah, this car right here on the jig, I think this is one of our new ones that we're waiting on, and Vic has got us a couple new super motors, and we're working on the truck and trailer and all that, and we're going to try to run just a lot of the local super stuff next year. I know Smoky Mountain's got 13 scheduled, and I'm sure 411 will have their fair share, and it's just I've got a little bit of help now thanks to Tyler Jenkins and his group down there, and it's opportunity, and we're going to try to see what happens.
Do you feel like that what you've done here over these last 3 years has really prepared you and laid the groundwork for stepping to another level?
Yeah, I mean, you can only do so much steelhead racing, and and I've won a lot, more races at 411 than anywhere else. But I feel like I've done all I can do steelhead / crate racing, at least on a local or regional type level. And it's just something I wanted to do, is move on up, and it's hard to do it on your own. But when you got a group of guys, trying to work together and work towards something, and everybody has the same goal, I think we'll be successful. It'll be definitely another stepping stone and a learning curve, but I look forward to it.
If you could fill in the blank on this question, 3-4 years from now, Josh Collins will be.
Man, I don't know. We'll that's you put me on the spot. Next year, like I said, we just want to run good and hopefully maybe win one or two. I don't know. We're gonna try to get our stuff together and go to Arizona for that Wild West shootout with McCready and those guys, and that'll be we'll know where we stay when we come back from there, I'm sure.
Since we're here at the Warrior Race Shop, just talk about driving the Warrior cars also.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've drove a lot of different cars. Barry Wrights and Rockets and Warriors now, and some Track Star stuff. And a race car is a race car to an extent. A lot of it's who you're working with and the people that you surround yourself with. And Mike and Kevin and Sanford and everybody over here, we all get along good and developed a good relationship and friendship with these guys. And it's just I wouldn't be in any other car right now. And we've had obviously good success with it the past 3 seasons, and and that's what we're going to stick with.
In the early part of the year, do you plan on doing the hangover race at 411 or anything like that, or what's the first couple of months of the year look like?
Yeah, well, I'm going to take my steelhead car to the hangover race at 411, and then hopefully we'll have all this new stuff ready to do something with it, either at Talladega or at Tucson, wherever we end up going. And then I think 411's got something scheduled in February. And we're going to catch their bigger steelhead stuff, but otherwise we're going to stay away from the weekly stuff and quit chasing that points deal up there anyhow.
All right. Well, good luck to you. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man.